upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXT The Game tonight in North Dakota in front of 4,600 people. This is Season 2, Episode 60. Let's get straight into the action. The camera opens up with Titus O'Neil on the screen. Titus welcomes those who didn't watch the Mega 12 Juniors to the new era for at least 6 months he has of NXT with me, the leader of Titus Worldwide, leading the brand here, the ship, on day 1 here in NXT. Titus goes on to say how he knows that last week was a bit wonky and he knows that he needs to try to fix that. But the Titus brand is going to work for each and every one of you in the NXT universe. The Titus brand is going to go above and beyond here while being the commissioner of NXT. Now, says Titus, I don't know where the Ellering Alliance is tonight, nor do I know where the NXT Heavyweight Championship is that they took, but I'm going to give them 7 days to show up on NXT TV. By next week's time, they all need to be in attendance, or else, Mr. Ellering, Triple H has given me full authority. But as far as for tonight, I'm giving you all Adam Cole and Bobby Roode taking on Andrade Cien Almas and Drew McIntyre in the main event. So Titus gets us off hot to start the show, which is good. As I revealed at the Mega 12 Juniors, he will be... And by the way, the Mega 12 Juniors will be quick videos, but I do need to put some of our main roster people on that show, at least in the segments, to kind of hype up the upcoming NXT when I do have them on, because I am taking time away. But yeah, as you recall, at Legacy, Regal lost. He's suspended for 6 months. Or, excuse me, he's given a leave of absence. So, Triple H has brought in Titus O'Neil to fill in the interim. And I thought Titus would be a fun babyface commissioner as well. Kind of like a neutral guy, but moreover a babyface authority figure would be fun as well. So, 60C. Alright, just our normal announcer stuff. 62C welcoming us to the show. Alright, in our opening bout, in a decent match, TM61 defeats Blake and Murphy in 11:34 when Nick Miller defeats Blake and Murphy by pinfall with a Thunder Valley following botch interference by Velvet Sky. This match was made at the Mega 12 Juniors Day 1, where the winner would face the Authors of Pain next week. Kind of smart by Titus O'Neil, as he said they have 7 days to get here, and by telling the Authors of Pain they have to defend their championships against the winner of this match, kind of smokes them out a little bit. 61 by Thorne and Miller, 44 and 51 by Blake. Velvet Sky did some good work at ringside and color commentary. Now, this I should also tell you guys that this match is happening because of the injury to Killian Dane by the botch of Dash Wilder. Sanity was in line for a huge tag team push, but unfortunately, due to the injury to Killian Dane, we are shifting to TM61. 60C. TM61 celebrates as Velvet Sky looks onward, pissed at her actions having caused Blake and Murphy the match. Tom Phillips notes that per Mega 12 Juniors Day 1 that Titus is trying to smoke out Authors of Pain, which I just said. They'll have to defend their NXT Tag Team Championships against the now we know TM61 #1 contenders here next week. Murphy was poor. Velvet Sky looks like a real star. That's great. Maybe I move Velvet Sky off of Blake and Murphy eventually. I don't know. 68C+. In the next match, Liv Morgan defeats Nikki Cross in 6:31 with a surprise cradle. So Tom Phillips and crew can have good chemistry. The match at Java Game of a breather. Eye Candy Beast match gets us a 77 and 72 for Morgan and Cross. I mean, Morgan basically puts in work here. She has her best match ever. Nikki Cross obviously is going to get the credit for carrying her, but remember, Liv Morgan teamed up with Adam Cole at Legacy to take on Nikki Cross and Eric Young in a match in which they lost. And she gets a little bit of revenge tonight with a quick surprise roll-up on Nikki Cross. There will be no work or improvements, but a 69C+ for these two women I am very thrilled with. Nikki Cross, having just defeated Liv Morgan, stands over Liv and grabs her. Nikki Cross, having just lost to Liv Morgan, stands. I put defeated, but I meant lost. Nikki Cross, having just lost to Liv Morgan, quickly stands up over Liv and grabs her hair, pulling it and screams, "Tell your boyfriend Sanity is coming for you." Be shoving her face into the mat and walks away. Strong message sent to Adam Cole. So Liv Morgan was good. Nikki Cross came across. Well, that's great. 63-3. I can continue using the woman to hype up the Adam Cole versus Eric Young program, which makes me happy. Alright, so 63C between these two ladies. Velveteen Dream. The former Patrick Clark, the Velveteen Dream, debuts next week here on NXT. So 63C. All right, next, and about that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat. Aleister Black defeats Tino Sabatelli in 9 minutes with a pinfall with a roundhouse kick. So Aleister Black gets the victory over Tino Sabatelli, who hasn't been used much since his loss to Tyler Bate. William Regal's gone though, so it clears the path for him to at least be in opening card matches and really help put over some of the guys here on NXT. Aleister Black will be the recipient of which 68 for Black, but Tino with a 40, so not awful. The crowd was hotter for this match. No worker improvements. 60C. Next, we get a recap from NXT TakeOver Legacy, where the Young Bucks finally lose to DIY, but lost only a match because the Young Bucks continue to heal it up. Did just that when they enlisted Kenny Omega to return and inform the Elite in NXT. While DIY had Nick's shoulders on the mat for the 3 count, a super kick party quickly broke out afterwards, fracturing the jaws of both Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. The Elite were deemed suspended. However, William Regal was given a 6-month vacation, and here we are. Are they suspended? Who knows? The Elite is on their way to the ring. We can see them coming out next. 78B, so the Elite with some good ratings, which is great. Ooh, an 84B, this is even better. The lights go out as the Elite's graphics start to play with their themes echoing throughout the arena. As the Bucks, Nick and Matt come out, step out, they point to the back, and to a uproarious crowd cheer into Buzo as Omega is shown, putting his arms up as if to say, come on. The Elite quickly hits the ring, and Kenny has a microphone quickly in his hand. Kenny Omega says about 3 months ago he was in Japan winning titles when the Bucks gave him a ring. They said, Kenny, NXT is exactly what you heard it to be. It's new, it's fresh, it's progressive. And you get to beat up on assholes like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. The fans boo. Kenny says that the Bucks told him he needed to come this way to reform the Elite, and beknownst to him, he had an out clause, a little string that can be pulled to allow him to reach his full potential here in NXT. And that's what he chose to do, said Kenny Omega. From today forward, says Kenny, the Elite does whatever they want. So 84B for the Elite's debut here on NXT TV. Kenny Omega looking great. The Bucks looking great. All right, so very, very good. But the Titantron pops up, and DIY, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano are showing up on the screen now. Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa play to their injured jaws. Johnny Gargano says that despite the shape that they're in, they want to fight, goddammit, and at the upcoming TakeOver special in 4 weeks, they're going to give it to us. Kenny and the Young Bucks play it off and say, bring it on. Tommaso Ciampa says that, much like everyone else, William Regal was in a favor-granting mood, and he granted DIY a favor. Not only did he sign a match between the Elite and DIY at the upcoming TakeOver special, but he signed a deal to bring in one of their closest friends from the business many, many moons ago. A man who, likes us, will fight for everything just and fights on the right side of everything that is good and right in the world. So we're forming Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa and a new guy that'll be a very, very strong face stable. We have a couple heel stables in NXT, but really, it's going to be like a super babyface stable. And at NXT TakeOver in 5 weeks, Elite, we promise you, Johnny, our friend, and myself will stand above all 3 of you. House United. So the stable name is still a work in progress. I have the house now, but I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, so I like House Stark, House Lannister, House Baratheon, whatever. So I'm thinking House NXT. I don't know. So if you guys want to give me some suggestions for the name of the Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, and their buddy-led stable, House Blank, that'd be awesome. But it's 79B for Gargano and Ciampa, and this program, which seems to have been going on forever, it's got to be kind of like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, I think, in NXT past years, where they just fought forever. They'll break apart, but they'll always come back. And unlike WWE, I promise to make it very interesting. There'll always be new uppings of the ante. So 79B, as I think the Young Bucks here in NXT have found their wrestling life mates in DIY. All right. Let's see what the next match is. The next match, Bobby Fish defeats Oney Lorcan in 7:44 with a single leg-high knee strike. Bobby Fish strong-styled the shit out of Lorcan here, who he beat at Mega 12 Juniors. This was a rematch. Great chemistry and improved their performance. A 64 and 36 got us a 60C rating. That's another great job of carrying the match by Bobby Fish. No skill improvements, but Bobby Fish with another victory here on NXT. We get a split screen of Adam Cole and Bobby Roode talking backstage, planning for their main event, followed by a split screen featuring Andrade Cien and Drew McIntyre in the same room, but nowhere near one another talking. Tonight's main event is going to be something alright. So we're going to team up Cole and Bobby Roode with Almas and McIntyre on the other side. We're going to have a huge main event. We're going to see what we can do out of it. So, obviously, these 3 here are 3 champions in Season 1. Adam Cole, get a big push. Still working out with Sanity. But as of right now, he'll be teaming with Roode in the main event. 76B-. Next, in a decent match that didn't have much heat, but had featured decent wrestling, Becky Lynch defeats Bridges with a hard knocks. 58 for both ladies. Commentary gave it a Bruce, and the former Sarah Logan's Crazy Mary Dobson, whatever. Bridges takes the loss here. Becky Lynch with the victory, 63C rating. Next, backstage, we see Titus O'Neil in his locker room, or office rather, when the new NXT champion, Mr. NXT, and his better half, Mrs. NXT, enter the room. Titus extends his hand, which Mr. NXT just looks at, which causes Titus to pull back. Mr. NXT asks Titus where his championship is, in which Titus replies he's working on it. Cut me some slack, says Titus. I just got here. Mr. NXT looks at Titus and tells him that he's worked harder in this briefcase, planned over 4 months on when the perfect scenario would be to cash it in, and would be for the championship to go missing. Go missing! Paul Ellering and his Ellering Alliance, it's unacceptable. If Will and Regal was here, Mr. NXT would go on to say, but would be cut off by Titus. Titus says he's not William Regal, Mr. NXT. In fact, he has tons of connections just like Regal, just not quite the connections Mr. Regal may have. So give me a few days. I'll get your championship back. Don't worry about it. Mr. NXT tells him he better as Mr. and Mrs. NXT leave. So again, playing off of the last segment at NXT last week where Mr. NXT won the championship, walked up the stage and had Brodus Clay, the newest member of the Ellering Alliance, take him out. Ruby Riott shoved the contract that William Regal gave the Authors of Pain and the Ellering Alliance to cash in at any point. We thought, obviously, that it would be Akam or Razor with that opportunity, but it cost, but apparently not. Paul Ellering's brought in Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay will be the one cashing in eventually. Mrs. NXT has debuted her bitch gimmick and got a great rating, and Mrs. NXT is getting a better gimmick, obviously. So she's doing great. 74B minus. Mr. and Mr. NXT are going to be a big part of Season 2, so keep an eye on them for sure. Next week, we get a video hyping Titus O'Neil meeting with Triple H on NXT TV next week. Alright, guys, and let's see what our main event gets us. Hopefully a 75. Alright, 76. In a good match, Adam Cole and Bobby Roode defeat Andrade Cien and Drew McIntyre in 13:29 when Adam Cole defeated Andrade Cien by pinfall with a flying crossbody following interference from Mr. NXT. The match also had tons of interference as Mr. NXT attacked everybody in the match. So Adam Cole gets a victory via distraction over the former NXT champion, inserting himself possibly into the world title conversation. 71 for Almas. He stands out above everyone else again. Cole with a 61, so bringing that up, that's great. 69 for McIntyre, 69 for Roode. It's advanced with his segment. Worker improvements. No worker improvements this show. That's a little unfortunate. 76 B minus so far, main event, which was great, and we really inserted Adam Cole as another potential contender. So Bobby Roode, obviously, having lost, wants another shot. Andrade has earned another shot after having lost it. Mr. NXT is a champion, can't find the title. Brodus cashed in with that piece of paper. Now Cole beats the former champion, and just everyone has a stake to the championship in Season 2 of NXT, and that's exactly what I wanted to do, is just really open up the title picture and make everybody have a claim to the championship. 76 B minus. The bell's going to ring, though, after the match. Rings and rings and rings as Mr. NXT continues his attack on the seeming. Let me read that again. I'm sorry, everyone. The bell rings and rings as Mr. NXT continues his attack on seemingly every main event player here in NXT, as Mr. NXT is going crazy now. Mrs. NXT is on the house microphone as Mr. NXT continues to lay into everyone when Mrs. NXT screams, "Where's our championship?" Mr. NXT stops the attack and goes open, grabbing the microphone and says, "I want my championship, Titus." The fans boo at Mr. NXT. Mr. NXT then says, "Paul Ellering, Authors of Pain, Ruby Riott, Rachel Ellering, Brodus Clay, the rest of your extended family. I don't care. Whoever has my championship, bring it back or else." Mr. and Mrs. NXT have the camera fade out on them, with all 4 other wrestlers coming into the picture as well. Now, Mr. NXT enlarging the already massive NXT Heavyweight Championship size target on his back. So 76 B minus here. Hopefully we get at least a 74 for the show. What do we get? 77. All right, increased us in 45 regions. So as I said, McIntyre being in the main event at Legacy lost. Not great, but not horrible. Still in the title picture. Roode winning that title, then losing it to Almas. Almas losing it back to Roode, in which was so he was due to rematch. Then Mr. NXT cashing in, being beaten up. Adam Cole with the victory tonight. I mean, everybody's a contender here in NXT, and it's going to be a lot of fun, guys, because I believe, set up many, many, many matches for Season 2 featuring, these 5 or 6 guys, and have really laid out our championship picture well. It should spread out nicely over our takeovers. But this was NXT The Game, Season 2, Episode 60. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll be back tomorrow or the day after with another edition of NXT.